Welcome to Diplomatic Passport this Thursday on Zimpaper's television network, ZTN. Of course, this is our daily weekday COVID-19 update show in which we keep you abreast with developments the world over in our region and, of course, in Zimbabwe. My name is Robin Kundiwa. Today is International Human Rights Day, and a lot of our rights have to do with making sure that we shine the light on young people. And just into the show, I'm going to be talking to a number of young people with regards their dreams, hopes and aspirations and their place in our country and our world in this new normal, and of course beyond, because as you heard yesterday when we were discussing here on the show, we talked about a vaccine and we're looking at a world that's going to be COVID free. So certainly while they're dealing with issues of their current normal, we're also optimistic, fairly optimistic, that we shall have a COVID-free world. But before I start talking to them, I'm going to update you on where we stand as a nation with regards to our statistics. And of course, this information is given to us every day by the Ministry of Health and Childcare. So Zimbabwe has now got 11,007 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, and sadly indeed we have hit that 11,000 mark. Now this includes 304 deaths, and of course we've breached the 300 mark, and 9,147 recoveries, which puts the national recovery rate at 83.1%. That's 2 percentage points down from yesterday. Now 1,541 PCR tests were done in the last 24 hours, and 91 new cases were recorded. Of course, these are all local transmission cases. Harare is still the epicenter with 3,496 cases, followed by Bulawayo, which now has 2,689 cases of COVID-19. Now, sadly, a new death has been recorded, and of course, that has been etched into that number, that inglorious number of those rising cases of deaths related to COVID-19. On the plus side, over 1,500 tests were conducted yesterday, and that's what we keep saying, testing, testing, testing. And fortunately, we've breached that 1,000 mark, which was our daily target as a nation. And if you remember yesterday, we had 1,900, almost 2,000 tests this day, as in today, 1,500 plus. So at least that shows that more people are being tested, and we're getting more and more accurate results and figures. But as I said, today I've got a set of young people in the studio here. It's International Human Rights Day. What better way to celebrate it than with young people who are young, vibrant, and have got their eyes on the prize, a prize in the future. Welcome to Diplomatic Passport, one and all. It's a pleasure to have you guys here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into what you guys do, I just want you to perhaps say it yourself. I'll start with the gentleman. Who are you? What do you do? And what part are you in this matrix of young people who have got dreams, hopes, and aspirations?
My name is Vinyasha. I'm a gospel musician. I've been doing gospel for the past 5 years, since 2015. I love the Lord. I love music. I also do write as a journalist. I think I have a greater part to play as a young person. I'm also practicing international relations. I've been studying that. So I think the future is bright. COVID-19 aside, I think the future is bright and the future is young.
Absolutely, the future is young. We are the youngest continent on the planet, and going forward we're getting younger and younger. So certainly the world belongs to you and the world's your oyster. Now, the lady, what is your name and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Lirio. I'm a musician. I am a painter and a carpenter.
Okay, you're a carpenter.
Yeah.
Good Lord,
yeah.
here we are thinking carpenters because everybody follows Joseph and thinks, I want to do Joseph's trade, and all of a sudden we've got a female carpenter.
Yeah, I am a carpenter and a human rights activist as well. Yeah, and I'm pursuing a lot of things in my life, and as a young person, I believe that even though I have a small audience as per now, but all those people that I reach, I believe I'm a role model already to a lot of people. So the goal is to inspire people, young girls, young boys, you know, just to inspire them, so to know that they can go beyond their current situations and to influence them in the right direction. Whatever that I do, I just try to make sure that wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, I have to inspire somebody in the positive direction, of course.
Absolutely, and you're inspiring us today, and you are holding a great mantle today. You're representing young people, but you're also representing assertive young women, and also with that human rights background, and this is certainly your day. And finally, the gentleman.
Yes, my name is Nico C, and I'm a rap artist from Glenview, that's Harare, Zimbabwe. So my role in the community is to teach young people. My music serves for edutainment, educate, and at the same time entertain fellow young people. I'm also a peer educator in the sector of sexual reproductive health rights, including the issues with regards with drug abuse. Yes.
Okay.
So
that's brilliant. And you know, if you've been watching, we deal with a lot of SRHR issues here as Zimpapers Television Network in general, and of course even here on Diplomatic Passport. So this is certainly your show. I'll start with a lady. I do know you were also working around with House of Arts, and you guys recently had a boot camp. Perhaps you can just educate us on what that was about and what you learned from that boot camp as young people.
Okay, yeah, we recently had the boot camp with the House of Arts Association. Their main goal was to make sure that young people are participating on the economic side of the country, because we are growing up from being young, from being kids, to growing up to being adults, and obviously we have to be independent. So as young artists, they were teaching us that we should be able to look on the business side of the music, so that we'll be able to earn music for ourselves. And especially, you know, I look on the side of girls. The music industry for girls is a little harsh, so you have to be independent to support your own music, so that you can work comfortably and also earn the support from home, because they always like, what, you are doing music, so what you gonna do, what are the promoters going to do to you? And if you're independent, you're definitely safe, and you're definitely economizing everything in your music and just focusing on the economic side of the music.
Brilliant. And Nico, what did you gain from those interactions with House of Arts?
Oh, I can say that the boot camp came at a later stage. Actually, we're doing a lot of projects with House of Arts from way back. So the bootcamp was a platform to interact and network with the right people in the music industry, like what Lirio said, the time to do business in music. So we had to network with the right people. So instead of just calling each other over the phone and say, network with the next person, no, we decided we can have a bootcamp where we invite key speakers from different organizations, from different sectors, from the media, from the National Arts Council, so that maybe we can interact and tell each other where we're missing it and where we should be involved and who doors which we are supposed to knock. So that was what the
You had to knock on a lot of doors, and somebody who's been knocking on a lot of doors and creating vibes for himself is you, Winyasha. 5 years in music, very notable collaborations. Tell us about that 5-year journey, and especially as a young person in gospel. It's not really out of you know, the norm in Zimbabwe, for example, for young people to be in gospel. We've had a lot of young people in gospel. But it's probably something a bit awkward beyond, especially in the West. But here you are. You've got this sterling record, international relations, media. And as a gospel artist, tell us about that matrix and the 5 years.
So I started my career 5 years ago, recording my single with Tikshu as a man. It was a great boost to my budding career. And then 2016.
What was the name of that single? Actually, we've got it today. So
awesome.
So just we're gonna jog people's memories, and we're gonna play that today as well. Awesome. But no, continue. By all means, go ahead.
In 2016, I did my first album. I did very well on radio. It was number 15 on the annual gospel charts on Sai FM. Then 2017, I did another single, Zisora Mari, it was very well received by everyone. It got me a number of shows in Zimbabwe and South Africa as well. 2018, I did my DVD. Yeah, it's called Test of Glory. I had Janet Manyoa coming. I had Take Sure. I had Ella Cherai coming through.
You had
so
the
it
royalty of gospel music.
Yeah, it really asserted me like as a serious gospel artist in Harare, because I was staying in Gweru before that. I try by all means to manage my work and my art, which is my ministry side. So Monday to Friday I'm working. I go out of town, do stories and all that stuff. Friday to Sunday I'm doing my music. So I've managed to also find that balance. Recently I was studying for my master's in international relations, so I also was trying to get a balance. Now I'm done. Looking forward to joining the diplomatic world at some point.
Absolutely. Well,
yeah.
What better way to start than here on
Yeah,
Diplomatic Passport?
And
speaking of which, we are going to grant a diplomatic passport to that video we were talking about, the video to the song, perhaps his debut hit that he performed alongside Take Sure Zama.
Samari sokerai urugo rekutanga shamaida omwari ushimudi samari sokerai kwa makatanga mushina mataimi satokere kumashire satokere kumashire satokere kumashire Samari sokerai kwa makatanga mushina matai satokere kumashire 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 kushesi kunoshimira mwari mai mukama kwanadeka moja wazima timafeiko golgake anzifundisira nomoa anoparizwa ndinorarai makarasikase Makarasika papiko Makarasika se Makarasika papiko Satogere kumashure Satogere kumashure Satogere kumashure Satogere kumashure Satogere kumashure Satogere kumashure
Well, that beauty, that gem there coming from Wenyasha, and that's Usadzogere Bumashure, and you're live here on Zim Papers Television Network. But if you do not know what you're watching and you do not know where you are, well, this is the program that you're watching. Brilliant. Diplomatic Passport it is, and today is International Human Rights Day, and we're celebrating with young people who have got an eye or two on the prize, and that is the future. Now, before we went to this brilliant song that you were giving us, you were also telling us about how you're juggling work and everything. And I think one of the positives is the fact that we're looking at music, but also working towards building ourselves, having other professions, but also even intellectually, because as you were saying, people would not take music seriously and think, well, but now we've got somebody with a master's, and we've got people with doctorates doing music, pursuing music, because it's a passion, but it's also a calling, as it were. You would attest to that.
I think it can be done. Someone can be a musician and do very well in the market, or do very well in their vocation. I think it's only lazy people who want to, focus on one thing. Yeah. Some people are gifted in that, and it brings them money.
I only focus on TV, but okay, I'm lazy. It's fine.
No.
Totally gets you.
No offense, yeah. but I think as young people, we still have the strength to do many things. We still have the drive. I think from 30 to 40, I think that's the last decade, really, when you're really pumped up to do stuff. So I think
you're talking 40 to 50, or you're still talking 30 to 40
for now.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's wow. That rules me out. But
okay. Not to rule you out. Yeah.
But also, I see these very close nuances. You're doing what, of course, we always want to term gospel music, and he earlier on was talking about how he does secular music. But in a lot of ways, you guys are similar vessels. You may be talking differently, but you're speaking to the same people, and you're preaching a certain gospel, as it were. Tell us about your gospel, Nico. You touched on it briefly in the communities, young people, and you were talking about drug abuse, sexual and reproductive health and rights, and working as a peer educator. Because that's really, when we look at international human rights, there are a lot of rights that are related to young people, that right to education, that right to health, that right to even being born, quote, well, But a lot of things, a lot of fundamentals are not right amongst the youth. What do you encounter both as a peer educator, and what do you address as a peer educator, and also on the other hand, what do you address, which you are seeing in your life as a peer educator, what do you then address in your music, in your rap music, speaking to through your voice to them?
Okay, so our situation in our communities, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. A lot of young people are engaging in early sexual activities, and they have basic access to drugs and things like that. So looking at COVID-19 in particular, we were stuck, we were at home, we had nothing to do, most of us. So others started taking an opportunity to engage in drug use, others in early sexual activities. So you'd find if you try to talk to young people, they might not be comfortable to talk to you. Why? Because we have less youth-friendly corners within our clinics, within our community halls. There are other activities taking place there, but we don't really have those youth-friendly corners. It's up to the ministry to make sure we have more youth-friendly corners. So yes, you can talk to a few friends here and there, this is what I'm encountering, this is what I'm facing. But however, we still need to spread that message across. So if you are someone who listens to my music and listens deeply within it, you can find that at some point I discourage the use of drugs, the use of alcohol to young people. Yes, and I even mention my music is a bit secular, but I do it in a light way. Issues that has to do with sexual reproductive health rights, you can sense it within the content. Yes, so that's how I decided to portray the information. It's all about how you portray the message to the people. Yes, you can say it on an interview, but you can actually sing about it, and they can understand you better. That this guy does not approve this guy disapproves the next thing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And they're more likely to listen to a young voice rather than one that's beyond 40, as it were. But you tell me from your angle, just perhaps before we wrap up, women and young girls, and you being a torch and a role model within your community as you grow out and grow up. What are you communicating to young people, young women perhaps, in your community? And I don't want to box you, even if you're taking this message to young men, because for all intents and purposes, the truth is, we are all educated by women. So what is it that you're doing as a young woman to be that person and be that light within your community?
Okay, so I did say I was a carpenter earlier, and I'm a painter as well. I'm in the construction industry, and right now I'm on the verge of starting a construction company that is going to empower women mostly. And before I haven't registered yet. I'm still doing the paperwork, but even though I haven't registered yet, I believe that if I employ a young woman, I can teach her a skill that I can never be able to take away from here wherever she's going to go. So that is what I'm going. That is what I'm doing. And basically, even the way that I live, I try to inspire young girls. We are living in a generation, we are economically challenged, but we have social media, we have so much pressure from the social media. We want to live the lives that we don't have. But as my name, Liru, I try to inspire those girls. I try to inspire those boys. Just be yourself. And if you don't like your reality, then work as hard as you can to change it so that you like it. So that's what I do in my music. And I'm also I am an activist wherever there are seminars where there are seminars about activism. I try as much to spread the word. I try as much to inspire everyone I meet. Even in my music, I send that message thoroughly to young girls. I call myself the RDH, the real downtown hustler. I want people to know that even if you are a girl, we have a norm that you have to get married at this age, at that age. We don't want that. You can work your way through, and no matter the situation, as long as you are passionate, as long as you have a direction. So that's what I call myself. You don't have to be good for anybody. Be good for yourself. Be good for your parents, who you stay with, who care about you, and focus on your dream and do whatever you can. So in my music, when I walk, where I live, whatever that I do, I have to inspire. I have to make sure that I give you that drive to move forward.
Well, I will tell you, we were all inspired. I saw the gentlemen nodding, and they were like, yes, yes, and somebody almost shouted, amen. Well, there it is. You have been watching Diplomatic Passport here on Zimpapers Television Network, and I've been inspired by young people, and you look into the future and you know, yeah, I can retire at 40, because with such vibrant blood in our country, on our planet, we certainly are absolutely safe, and we can go about our business tending to the strawberries and orchard, knowing that the real business of running our day-to-day is in the right hands with such passion, such hard work, energy, and tireless dedication. If you want to get in touch with me, of course you can get in touch with me on my Twitter handle, that's @ZimRobbie, ZIMROBBIE, or robinkondiwa@gmail.com. Of course, if you still want to send an email, and if you're that generation. And I think some of you may want to know where to get these guys. Just quickly, your handles on social media. Where can people find you?
Wenyasha_music on Instagram, Wenyasha Chingono on Facebook.
Absolutely. The lady.
It's Liru Music on Facebook. It's Liru263 Official on YouTube, and then it's Liru5712 on Instagram. And yesterday I dropped a double drop, so there's really something to look forward to.
Absolutely. So there you got something to rush to her handles to actually go and encounter. Finally, Nico.
Yes, you can follow me on Nico C263. That is Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is under one username, Nico C263. Then you can play my music on Body Beats. Yes, if you are an Econet subscriber, you can play my music on Body Beats.
Absolutely.
Yes, well, those are the platforms you can
talk
get
about
my music.
taking that music everywhere onto and utilizing social media sites to make sure that you get that little penny time and time again. And of course, the world, as I said, is your oyster. Thank you so much for joining me here on ZTN on Diplomatic Passport, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you for having us.
I also wish you all the best, and until next week, because we shall not be having an episode of Diplomatic Passport tomorrow, I know that saddens you, saddens me, but until next week, have a great weekend and take care of yourselves and each other. Well,
Chiringa suba cha bleacher, chiringa suba cha boiler, chiringa suba chie cha chuka chuka kwata, chiringa suba cha bleacher, chiringa suba cha boiler, chiringa suba chie cha chuka chuka kwata. I don't try by all means, but I try by all sausages. Kubatsa needs a life, try your mega strategies. Yeah, we love the pepper, but you are my allergies. I tunduke madzinza, ticha bunduke my lineages. Usiflegie musoka ramba kuswera pakona aronchundra moya kaita mbiri nechishona po matavire fadza vanhu vasina kuona saka the time is now.
I've been walking but this is my time.
Wait for no man, be the change proper. Drunk and procrastination, leave you certified flopper. Future dropper, let every minute count, cause there be no clock stopper. Ow. I fly like an eagle chopper. Change come from a step, rise undertaker. You're a determination, come, don't worry, you are very thunder.
Logan zamuthola uthule enhlizweni yami insizwe uyazibona sivuka ekuseni izodingela umndeni imali awusize mdali ngingawe awusize inzalo ngithola isibane ngidla ubusha bami nabangane bami ngijabulisa umndeni wami zihamba esikolweni ngane awuntshintshi umphakathi wami isikhathi sami simanje awuyindoda idla isithukuthuzayo ngicela isimo singaze siphoxe wengane wami awemfokama uzekhona na qinisela isikhathi sakho simanje lo bibindela indlela nyamezela nyamezela awuqinisela wemngani wami awubambelela bambelela nyeke ngiwulahle.
I've been